All right, so this is the device that you guys have been asking a lot of questions about. This is the Galaxy Watch Active. Now, this is considerably smaller than the previous Galaxy Watch. So here is the 46 millimeter Galaxy Watch. This is the full size, the larger one, and I've had this one since launch. And here is the Galaxy Active next to that. Let me actually take this watch off so I can compare it a little better for you guys. All right, so here are the two side by side, and as you can see, it's a considerable difference in size. I mean, it's just, this is much smaller than I thought it was going to be. Obviously, 40 millimeters, I knew it was going to be smaller, but I've been used to wearing this 46 millimeter watch, and the difference is definitely considerable. So if the Galaxy Watch for you is like way too big and you just don't want to have something that's that large on your wrist, because it is a pretty big watch. I mean, even on my wrist, now I don't have the biggest wrist in the world to start, but it is pretty big on my wrist. So if you wanted something a little smaller that would fit your wrist a little better, this is definitely going to be a good option for you. So I want to talk a bit more about the bands now. Now the bands, the material that they're made out of feels very similar between the two. The level of softness of the bands, how they flex, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same material, just a slightly different design. So the Galaxy Watch ships with this sort of ribbed design on it, and then the Active is just a very flat, simple design. And looking at the back here, you can see something very important. So these bands are standard 20 millimeter bands. So if there's other sport bands you want to put on this, it's a piece of cake. All you do is you put your thumb here, you pull that tab out, and then boom, you've got that watch band off. You can grab whatever other watch band you want and just pull that tab again and snap it right back in place. It's really that easy. Both the Galaxy Watch and Galaxy Watch Active are swim-proof, so you don't have to worry about taking these in the water at all. Personally, holding the two, the weight difference between them, like I can kind of tell that the Galaxy Watch is heavier, but it's not one of those things where it's like, oh my goodness, the Galaxy Watch is like having a brick on your wrist, and then this is like having a feather. It's not that much of a difference. It's noticeable, but don't let the weight of the watch be your deciding factor between the two. I'd focus a lot more on the styling of the two watches, and really, are you kind of more sport focused? Because this is definitely going to be a lot more comfortable to like sleep with, for example. If you really want sleep tracking, this is going to be a heck of a lot more comfortable because it's just much smaller. Something very important that I noticed right away that I have to point out to you guys is that the rotating bezel is entirely gone. Here, there's no rotating bezel at all, and if I roll my fingers around this outer edge, I thought this outer edge was going to be a kind of work like a digital bezel. It doesn't. And as you can see, if I go to let's go to the watch screen here, the screen doesn't actually go to the bounds, the end here. There's actually a considerable bezel that goes around the side, and there's, as far as I can tell, no function in anything in this outer bezel at all, besides like maybe being able to swipe in from the side more accurately, because you have kind of a space to start from and swipe in from. So the buttons function exactly the same. You have two buttons here, so if you push this top one, that's a back button. If you push the bottom one, that's a home button, takes you to the home screen. Push it again, that takes you to your different applications. Now, since you don't have a bezel, you can't kind of scroll around to the different applications, and to navigate between the pages, you just swipe left and right to get through the pages. And to select an application, you would tap the application and then tap in the center to actually open that application. And I think that's a very smart move on Samsung's part, because if the first application you tap just opened immediately, or even with a short delay, you can end up opening the wrong application by accident, because this is a pretty small screen. Something else I just noticed that I want to point out is that while you can swipe back and forth to get through the different app pages you have, there are these arrows up here as well that you can tap, and you can tap those arrows to kind of get through the different pages as well. You do get Samsung Pay on this through NFC. You don't have MST. It looks like Samsung's going to be moving away from that on all their watches moving forward. And just as a reminder, MST is magnetic secure transmission. It allows you to pay at any credit card reader instead of just the NFC capable ones. But that's becoming less and less a problem not having that MST technology, because more and more places are accepting mobile payments. So I'd say give it, a few more years, and most places should accept mobile payments anyway. So, the MST technology wouldn't be as valuable at that point. Now, as far as opening Samsung Pay, I'm going to assume that you just hold the back button like you do on the Galaxy Watch and on the previous generations as well. Now, this doesn't have Samsung Pay installed at the moment, so I can't actually test that, but I'm going to assume that that's how it works. I just want to quickly show you guys the different watch faces here. So if I long press here, I get to all my watch faces. I'm going to go ahead and swipe across. They're all pretty, pretty similar to the things that we've seen before. This Breathe one actually looks almost identical to, I think, one that came with the Galaxy Watch, or at least very, very similar to it. Same with this one, looks very similar to one that launched with the Galaxy Watch. And then here are a bunch of other ones. These are all definitely different looking. Some of these I haven't seen before. This one is very similar to one that's on the Galaxy Watch. And so I just want to go through these really quick. And these are the watch faces that are going to launch with the Galaxy Watch. So this is a pretty neat watch face. I haven't seen anything like this on the Galaxy Watch yet. If you tap this watch face, the mountains in the house do this like little bounce thing, which is pretty clever. I don't know why I find that so amusing, but I think that's super cool that they added this type of thing. And if you swipe on it, let's see. Now swiping on it doesn't do anything, but tapping on it makes them bounce, which is a neat effect. I mean, it doesn't really serve any purpose other than the fact that it's just a cute little animation. And I haven't seen that kind of stuff on the Galaxy Watch, but I'm sure that over time we'll get these types of animated watch faces on the Galaxy Watch where they're interactive like this. So I was just talking to the Samsung rep about why they have these kind of like animations here and stuff like that, and kind of what he knew about them. And he said that kind of from higher up in Samsung, he heard that the purpose is to sort of kind of gamify exercising with this exercise sport type watch. So it just makes it a lot more fun. And the term he used was actually gamify. So it's a very clever thing, and I think Samsung's doing a good job with it. And he said that the heart, the reason it's shaped like this and the reason these things kind of fill up this way is that the goal is to fill the heart every day. And I'm assuming there's some sort of animation or something that happens when you do fill the heart. So it turns into like a competition, like a game or something like that, to make working out and getting fit and stuff a bit more fun, a bit more interesting, and a bit more bearable. This is a health tracker for the day, and you can see you have your calorie intake, your active minutes, and then this tells you what it looks like is if I open this and kind of scroll down here, you guys can see it says move hourly. So I think what that's saying is for the amount of time that you've had the watch on, have you moved every hour that you've had the watch on? And then it basically keeps track, oh, you've had the watch on for 12 hours, you've moved every hour for, 7 of those 12 hours or something like that. So it's basically, how active are you in terms of like hourly movement. So I want to take a quick look at the widgets that are available here. So if I swipe over here, you can see that this is the kind of heart widget, health widget that I showed you guys a little earlier. And then here is an apps widget, just shows all the different apps around it. This is pretty much exactly the same as what you get on the Galaxy Watch. If I scroll over on the Galaxy Watch, you can see very, very similar looking. This one is a quick activity, so you tap one of these, like let's say you want to just start a bike ride, you just tap cycling, and then that's going to start the workout immediately. Now, it looks slightly different, then it just hit the back button to cancel that. It looks slightly different on the Galaxy Watch. It looks kind of like this on the Galaxy Watch, so if I tap one of these, then that's going to go ahead and start it there on the Galaxy Watch and kind of take me into some options before starting it, whereas this widget just starts it kind of immediately. Going a little further over, you get your heart rate widget, you get a weather widget, and again, like the heart rate, weather widget, this is all pretty standard stuff with the Galaxy Watch or really Samsung smartwatch line in general. They all have pretty much these same things. It looks like you get a calendar here, and they can add more widgets. Let's see what else we get. So you have an alarm widget, pretty standard. App shortcuts, you guys already saw that. Calendar, contacts, music, reminder, Samsung Health. So this one, it's a caffeine intake one. So you basically, let me go ahead and just show you guys that really quick. If you have the older Galaxy Watch type devices, you will have already seen this. Basically, you hit the plus and minus buttons, and that just keeps track of your caffeine intake. Something I want to point out really quick is that if I go back here, you can see here that this outer bezel really isn't used for anything on the watch face. There's no screen there, but Samsung did a good job of kind of hiding that with the way that they did their widgets. So it doesn't look like there's a large bezel around the screen. It looks like it actually just keeps on going the way they did it, especially with widgets like this one here. It's the deepness of black from this part of the screen to the part that's not actually a screen is so well matched that it looks like the entire surface is actually a screen, but it's not. Jumping back into the widgets menu, we're going to go ahead and see what else there is here. So this is another Samsung Health one. Keep track of your calories burned. This is a challenges one. Next, we have another exercise one. So if you want to start a specific workout, that's the way to do it. You have a floor tracker. This is a food thing, so you can quickly add some food in. This is a general overall health one that kind of gives you a bunch of different looks between step count, calorie intake, floors climbed, and heart rate. Here's a leaderboards one to see how many steps you're taking compared to other people. This is that quick start exercise widget that I showed you guys earlier. You just tap one of these, it starts the exercise immediately. No need to set anything up. Here's sleep tracking. Now, something to know about sleep tracking on Samsung smartwatches is that it's automatic. You don't have to like turn it on or anything like that. So this isn't to enable sleep tracking. This is just to monitor your sleep tracking. So you wake up the next day, you check the watch, and you see, what kind of sleep you had. We've got a steps tracker. Water intake counter works just like the caffeine counter, plus and minus buttons. Now this is something new that didn't launch on the Galaxy Watch and is launching here. It's a weight tracker, so you can kind of keep track of your weight. You can kind of enter a new number in right from your watch. Again, here's the weather tracker and the world clock. Swiping the other way, you can see notifications. These are all the same as you'd get on the Galaxy Watch. So if you're familiar with the Galaxy Watch, this kind of all works the same way. I want to take a quick look at the settings menu for both of these here. So let's go ahead and pull this down. Now as you can see, the settings menus are very similar, except on the Galaxy Watch Sport, you now have 2 tiers of menus. So you can actually swipe across and see all of your quick settings. On the Galaxy Watch, you don't have that option to kind of swipe across and see more. It just kind of is what it is. But you can change them by long pressing. So if I long press on, say, the airplane icon, I can get rid of that, and then I can hit the plus sign, and then here are all of the options I have. Airplane mode, Bluetooth headset, battery manager. I've showed you guys all of these in other videos on the Galaxy Watch specifically, so if you want to learn more about all of these different options, definitely go check out those videos. So the Galaxy Watch Active, same deal. You just long press on one of them, and then you can hit that plus icon there, and then add whatever other ones you want. So you got battery management, NFC, play stop music. This is all looks all actually to be exactly the same as what you get on the Galaxy Watch. So just kind of looking through here, yep, this all seems to be exactly the same. Something else while I'm in here that's really important to point out is that you do get an always-on display. That's this icon right here. If I tap that, that turns off the always-on display. Tap it again, turns on the always-on display. So very important that that feature is here. So again, if you want to learn all about what these different settings do, check out the other Galaxy Watch videos. So at the end of the day, who are these 2 watches for? It's definitely not a situation of, oh, should I upgrade to the Galaxy Active? No, these have 2 entirely different markets. The Galaxy Watch is for someone who wants a smartwatch with a lot of functionality, solid battery life. They want it to look like a traditional watch, and they also want to have that exercise capability if they want it. They want that swim proofing and all that kind of stuff. Then that's who would get the Galaxy Watch. The Galaxy Watch Active is specific for people who are just kind of fitness oriented. So if you're only going to be wearing this to track your fitness, track steps, track your runs or swimming or anything like that, then this is going to be the way to go, especially if it's not a watch that you're going to wear all the time. You're not really like a watch person. You just want something that's going to do a good job of keeping track of your fitness and things like your sleep as well. Then this is going to be a great way to go for a number of reasons. One, the price. At $199, this is considerably less expensive than $350 for the Galaxy Watch. This is the 46mm Galaxy Watch. So huge difference in price, or $150. So if price point's a big thing and you're really just interested in fitness, you're going to save a lot of money by going with the Galaxy Watch Active. The other thing is that the Galaxy Watch Active is considerably smaller, so it's going to fit easier on your wrist. It's going to be a lot more comfortable to sleep with as well if you're doing sleep tracking and those sorts of things. Now, that being said, I haven't noticed that the Galaxy Watch is like, oh, this is way too big to wear all the time and it's cumbersome on my wrist. I haven't noticed that at all, doing any sort of like fitness, exercise things, anything like that. I've had no problems with this as far as size goes, except for the case of sleep. I have noticed this, like if I try to sleep with this, sometimes it is a bit uncomfortable because it is a larger watch, and I think this would be a lot more comfortable if I was specifically going for sleep tracking. If you guys want to know a lot more, particularly about the Galaxy Watch or all of the apps that are available for all these watches, I have a ton of videos on the Galaxy Watch and the Gear S3 where I cover all the different applications, features you had no idea existed. There's a lot of things I've covered with the Galaxy Watch specifically, so definitely check those videos out by clicking the link above or the link in the description. Drop a line down below to let me know if you guys are going to be picking one of these up. And I just kind of want to know in general, what do you guys think about the Galaxy Watch Active? Do you think Samsung's going in a good direction adding this to their offering? That's it for this Techisode. God bless, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.